YNABers, my name is Jesse Meekum from YNAB. It stands for You Need a Budget. This is another Whiteboard Wednesday. Today I want to talk about Rule 3. We've hit Rule 1, where you're giving every dollar a job. We've hit Rule 2, where you're recognizing that some of those jobs are for expenses that will be a ways down the road. And you're preparing for them now by setting aside smaller monthly amounts to have that larger amount when the bill or the vacation or the holidays come due. But then, what happens when something happens? What happens when life happens? Rule 3 says that you roll with the punches. In boxing, it just means that when an opponent is throwing a punch, you move your face in the same direction as your opponent's blow so that it lessens the impact. And we want you to do the same thing with your budget. A budget is not some rigid, arbitrary set of numbers that you impose on yourself so that you can feel good and guilty when you realize that you didn't guess correctly. This is not about guessing. This is about, in the moment, recognizing what your money needs to do as things change. In sports, you have a halftime where the coach, they had a game plan, they had a budget for the first half, then they see how the opponent plays, and in the halftime, they make halftime adjustments. And then they come out in the second half and they win, right? Those halftime adjustments are just what we're talking about. Just change your budget as your priorities and as circumstances change along with it. The budget is a living, breathing set of numbers that you move around to fit your ever-changing circumstances. Now, your priorities, admittedly, your priorities long-term, they probably won't change too much. But day to day, week to week, certainly they will. If the car tire blows out, then you're going to need a new tire more quickly than you might need to do that thing that was a little more fun, a little more entertainment-oriented. And so you'll shift around and you'll say, well, we'll defer the entertainment for a little bit longer. You're going to be making these adjustments all the time. This is how you stay on track. So budgeting is not about a rigid set of numbers to impose guilt. Budgeting is about air traffic control. It's much more dynamic. All of these planes needing to go where they need to go, money needing to go where it goes. And as the circumstances change, you're just aware of it and you're directing traffic as needed. And that keeps you, to go back to our original analogy, keeps you on your feet during the fight. You recognize that changing your budget isn't meaning that you were wrong or that you made a mistake. Changing your budget is actually encouraged. It means you're winning. It means you're sticking with the process. And sticking with the process long-term is far more important than being right at some number you just threw out there as you stuck your finger in the wind. So please follow Rule 3, and as you're giving every dollar a job and looking to those larger, less frequent expenses, embracing your true expenses, giving every dollar a job to those expenses as well. You're weighing your priorities. Please change your budget as needed. Recognize that that is just as important as the first and the second rule. They're all just interwoven. And it means that you'll stay engaged. That when something happens, you'll say, hey, I knew this would happen. You'll make adjustments and you'll just move forward. I give you permission, here now and forevermore, to change your budget whenever you want. I will see you guys next week.